Tanya. Oh shit, no, it's oh come on. Yes. Creative Wolfie, right? CREATIVE right? Com. All right, I sent the invitation by email. All right, I sent the invitation. Okay, so.
So how you leave? Like, you asking her questions or what's?
Yeah. No, I'll let her share her story. Huh? Yeah. Why you joined TBC and what you want to do and stuff like that. All right. Thank you very much. Hello, this is John Harder, and this is another live broadcast, an episode, broadcast number 103. There we go. So, I always figured, these guys that know exactly how many broadcasts they did and stuff, and I have no track of how many I've done, but 103 is this would be 103 that I will be posting on the Kringle site. So now that we've got that important information, let us move on to what the title is about. And I am excited to have my daughter Tanya join me today. Tanya, where are you? Okay. So the title today is Real Value That Gives Prosperity Back to the People. Uh, I like that title very much. Real value that gives prosperity back to the people. Now, I want to share with you this morning uh, an idea. Excuse me. People, honey, would you mind grabbing my water? People have, and I used to do this a lot. I would just brush something off as coincidence. And that was before I understood anything about how the spirit works. Spirit, as far as I knew, is just something invisible. It's something out there that sort of exists, maybe in the background, and kind of watches over you, sort of watches what you do, and maybe brings back to you some karma now and then and stuff like that. That's what my concept of the spirit basically was. But as I studied and as I understood, reload your Gmail, would you? Okay, no problem, Tanya. Tanya, are you on the? Tanya, can you see the chat?
She's not on there yet.
Okay, then just go to the chat, and there you can click the link. Okay, so and here's what I began to understand as I studied about how our mind works. And this is you know, we are all okay. Everything is tied. There isn't anything that is separate from anything else. Okay, so we could say that um, well, a horse runs out there free, and unless it's tied to a post, or you know, there's a rope linked to it. Actually, excuse me. Sorry, I just needed a little sip. Okay, so and so things are tied, but now in the spirit world, there is only one. I have obviously mentioned this many times. There is only one. There isn't any like Tanya, can you just mute your video? I think I'm hearing okay, thank you. So I think your mic will still be open. You want to try it?
Say good morning.
Good morning.
Okay. All right. So Tanya, I will in just a little bit, you and I will discuss a few things here. Okay. So and but as I heard Gerard talk about value, this is I've been watching his videos, and he was talking about value, and I was thinking to myself, what exactly is he talking about? Because I mean, I see it. I see it that there has to be value. If if you're going to convince somebody to give you their money, well, they need to see value. You need to prove that you have something that is worth their money. You know, something not only that you can convince them of how you're going to um, uh, you know, kind of trick them into giving you their money, but rather that you are you know, transparent in what you're doing and what you're trying uh, to sell. So obviously the person, what they're really buying is you. That's what they're buying. But unless you have some product or a service or something that you provide uh, for their money, that they trust you with, that they entrust you with. You see, they are paying this money to you. They can't pay it to the product or to that service. They have to pay it to you, and so you are the person then who must equal that value for them. Okay, if that makes any sense. And as I was listening to Gerard Windsor explaining, you know, that how we need to have value, um, and then I realized that the same thing that was the same thing that I had been thinking about when you know, this was you know, I don't know, maybe it was a week earlier or so, that I had been thinking about that too. Um, about, you know, somehow we need to provide value, and then I realized that that as I looked for something, I was looking for a way to provide value, and I wasn't thinking of it in those terms necessarily. I was more thinking of of something to connect people with something that I know they already want. That was the idea. And as I all of a sudden I made the connection with what Gerard Windsor was talking about, that was actually the same idea as what I was talking about, that it's value that we need to provide to people, because just exchanging money for money really doesn't, there isn't anything value. Uh, as I mentioned sometime, that if you get together with your friends and family or whatever, or family basically, on at Christmas time, and you've decided to give each other $20, of cash, you may as well just each keep your $20. Like, what's the sense, right? Um, because there's really no excitement, nothing of value there. But what we want is, we want TBC to become the monetary system in the world. The economy. We want that to be the exchange in the economy. Well, now we need to come up with a value, because by itself it has none. All right. So anyhow, that is my little opening speech, and I will probably elaborate on that some more. My daughter Tanya is on now. I have been talking to her, trying to get her on. I think I've at times turned blue in the face trying to get her to come on. And here she is. I am excited that she's on with me. So Tanya, uh, say hello, and tell us why you joined TBC.
Hi, everyone. Let's see. I joined TBC because I thought that it would be, that it would help, that it would definitely help me fulfill my dreams that I have. And a couple of the dreams that I have is, well, for one, I really love horses, and I really want to have a stable full of them. And TBC will definitely help buying that. It will probably pay for the whole thing. And that would be awesome. And then one of my other dreams is to have also, like, a bunch of dogs and cats, and I'm an animal lover all around. And TBC would pay for all of that. And I love TBC because it'll help a bunch of people as well. A bunch of people that are not really able to do all that. And TBC is also a great monetary system. I agree with you there. I think it would be great as that. It would do a heck of a lot better than our current one. And well, I also want to help people. I want to help people with whatever I can help them with. Whether that be with money itself, like a type of currency, or with the free energy thing you started doing. I would love to help people with that too.
Well, thank you very much, Tanya. I really appreciate that. Um, I know that Tanya is, she is quite in tune with what I've been talking about. That the current monetary system, how it is debt based, and it has humanity enslaved, and as a result of that, we people are struggling. In many cases, not only are they struggling, they really literally don't have anything. Um, and even in Canada and US, where most people still do have jobs, do have food on the table, but they are financially struggling because most of them are in debt. And as Randy Wilson so beautifully displayed yesterday in his broadcast, how that people, because they get in a tight spot, they borrow money to get out of that tight spot. But now they have created an additional debt load to add to their to the future of their already struggling life, right? See, so and this kind of spirals, and people just they are constantly in a financial pinch. And with TBC, we will eliminate that. We will alleviate people of these things. And now Tanya, I know that she has had dreams. She's loved horses ever since she was a little girl. We took her to Walmart when she was I don't know, 2 maybe. And in Walmart, and this was just maybe a few weeks before Christmas. And in Walmart there was this horse. Sorry. Oh, okay. My wife said to me that she thinks that Tanya was only about 1 year old. Well, anyhow, she was very little, and so we showed her this horse. It was well. Let me actually digress a wee bit. Just I don't know, maybe a week or 2 before that, we had taken her to our oldest daughter, uh, uh, who had horses, and Tanya. Tanya was leading this horse. She was this horse was so tame, so gentle, so was so very well trained. And Tanya she was walking, and she was carrying the rope, and the horse was following her. And so, being as little as she was, she all of a sudden stopped, and so the horse stopped, and of course she she didn't have any idea about horses necessarily, but I think she just really enjoyed this huge animal following her, and I think that she made the connection when we took her to Walmart and she saw this we showed her this horse. I think she made the connection that this kind of this was a horse. This resembled what she had been, the horse that she had been. Actually, I think Linda took her on the horse a little bit, didn't she? Yeah, she was on the horse with Linda and riding it, and I think she truly enjoyed that. And I think she kind of made the connection. So we got her this horse, and we got her this horse for Christmas, and oh yeah, it was a rocking horse, which also actually had batteries and it made noises and stuff, and she could sit on it and rock and stuff. But when we gave it to her at Christmas time, it was almost priceless to watch her. The horse was a bit taller than she was.
I know that's fine.
And here she was she was standing there beside the horse and just looking at it and looking at it, and like it was like, of course we couldn't figure out what really went through her mind, but how did this get here, or what am I going to do with this? It was just really, really interesting. And but she's loved horses ever since she was a little girl, and so she has really been enjoying looking forward to with TBC that she will be able to fulfill her dream of having horses and other animals as well. So this is great. I wanted to introduce Tanya 2 broadcasts. Uh, I was hoping that I could, get her to actually host broadcast. I would, of course, be on with her, and that we could have somebody, a person that is 16 years old and is really enthused about TBC, about where we're going with TBC, about what it means to her and what it means to her world, how she will be able to help uh, her, peers, her friends, her, um, you know, she's the person who understands um, her peers. She understands her friends and so on. And if they get enthused about TBC and what TBC will become, uh, that it will alleviate the world of poverty. This mindset of poverty that we've all been uh, basically been forced into, because when we're little and when we're growing up, we don't have uh, the choice at that point what we want to think or what vibrations we are exposed to. We are not, it is not our choice at that point. But as we grow up, we can change our thinking, and this is where it becomes so important for people who are younger, that they are exposed, that they do get exposed to the truth, and the truth of abundance, the truth of everything, of all things good being available to them. This is hard to understand for people. Uh, the you know when the only world we know is that of lack and limitation, where we can't have what we want, we're constantly in debt, and it is a world where we feel so emboxed that we can't function as we would like to. Now, this is where we need to broaden our mind, broaden our thinking, uh, give ourselves the liberty, first of all, to dream the life that we want, to dream about uh, about the world that we want to build, and make our connection with TBC, realizing that TBC is the tool that will help us do that. And but it's mostly the thinking. It is mostly the mind that needs to be changed. Uh, and here is what I was thinking, because I can tell people this. I can tell people this, but if people can hear it from their peers, it will mean much more. It will be much more potent, because they have the same vibrations, as it were. Uh, Now, of course, we realize that it's probably something that needs to be sort of introduced slowly. You don't just walk up to a person and expect them to understand everything when you're talking about it. You need to first just plant some seeds, just drop some hints, plant some seeds, and this will take off. Um, we know that some people have ventured out. They've bought properties. They've bought, some people bought vehicles. Some people have bought goods and services with TBC. Uh, all of these things, it has to develop slowly, because we are embarking on a journey where where there is uh, where there is a system, a debt-based system in place, and it's not going to just walk away. It's going to put up a fight, and so we don't dare to go and start fighting it and thinking that we are going to win. That would never happen. But what we do instead is we introduce a new way to people, and as they understand it and start using it and implementing it, that is how we're going to win. We do this in love. We do this in love and respect, and and replace the current economy, as opposed to trying to fight it. What we do instead is we create one that makes the old one obsolete. That is really the way we need to approach this. All right. So, anything you would like to share, Tanya? Any closing words that you would have?
I would just like to say that I very much agree with that, and I think TVC would be a great thing for many, many people. It would help many people, and it would make our current economy look very obsolete.
Thank you, Tanya.
No problem.
I I really appreciate your thoughts, and I like the way you think about these things. You know, I obviously realize that we've had many talks about this, right? To
Of course.
know that most people growing up and nowadays they do not see it that way. They only know the lack and limitation side of life, and they think that that is the normal way of living. Um, and we need to come to the understanding that that is not normal. Normal is freedom. We were born free. Uh, so the normal is freedom. We do have a life of freedom and prosperity and wealth and happiness. That is the normal life. So what are we saying by that? We're saying that most people are living a lie. They are living a lie. They are living a life of lack and limitation in a world where there is abundance. Isn't that something? Living a life of lack and limitation in a world where there is abundance.
As a young kid, I always knew that there was something wrong, that we weren't supposed to live worrying about, you know, how much money we have, or, you know, what's going to come next and stuff like that. I knew that there was something wrong with that. And now I know that it's completely wrong. It's not the way we should live. We should live free and happily.
Thank you very much, Tanya. I appreciate that. Those are great comments. All right, so that is now for those of you who are watching this video. I want you to realize that we have a 16-year-old person here that understands. She understands that the world that we are living in is or should I say, yeah, I'll say it this way: the world that we are living in is actually an abundant world. Most people don't understand that, and they have a mindset of lack and limitation, and therefore do not recognize the abundance that they actually are living in. And this is the message that we have for the world. This is the message that we have for all who are living in poverty in an abundant world, to help them see the abundance and use TBC to tune into it, to start using and living in that world. Anything you'd like to add to that?
I think that living in a world like that would be awesome. Where no one has to really worry about anything. They don't have to worry about, how much money they're making, or when, when something will fall or come back up.
Right. Yeah, I appreciate that. All right. So for those of you who have joined us now, what do we got? Patricia? Pritish? Thank you so much for joining us.
This is how you brother.
Yeah, thank you, brother. I would appreciate knowing what your channel is, because I love going and watching other broadcasts and see what I'm learning so much from other people. And sorry, Tanya, I think you need to unmute yourself.
Oh, there we go.
I can't hear you.
Is that better?
Yeah, that's better.
Okay.
Maybe that's looks like it's lagging quite a bit today.
It's probably because of the internet.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, I think we're going to close this off, and in the future, we will do this more times, right, Tanya? Where we're going to be on it together, because I think this will really help, more people who are younger to also start, waking up more to this, to the truth and the world of abundance that we actually live in. So these are awesome things to talk about, and when people understand it, that the world they're actually living in is not a world of poverty. It is actually abundant. The only thing that makes them poor is their own mind, is because their mind is living in poverty, and that's why it shows up in their world. So for those of you who are watching this video and are actually in TBC, you have not, maybe you left TBC because we had some technical problems with the system last year. Let me just encourage you. We have a brand new system now, and it is very fast, very robust, and those problems we had, they have disappeared. And also, for those of you who are not in TBC and you're watching this, let me encourage you, tune in to this new to this world that we have always lived in. The world the world we are living in has always been abundant. The only thing that changed it to lack in limitation was the people who were in control, and still are mostly, but they have created a world of lack and limitation, and have made it so that we basically by default would tune into that from little. And this is the mindset that we are going to change. We are changing it, not going to. We are changing it, because we already see it in ourselves. We also see it in other people who are in TBC. There are also people who are not in TBC yet that already have the new, the mindset of abundance. They just don't know about TBC as of yet in the value that TBC actually brings to the table. Okay, so there are links with information in the description, and so go ahead and indulge in that information. Find out what world we're living in, and find out what value TBC is actually bringing to this world, to humanity, to free us of slavery, of the slavery of the debt-based to the debt-based system that is now in place worldwide. All right. Any closing thoughts, Tanya?
I just think that I will definitely try to join you more on these, and I think that we definitely deserve to live in a free world, a world with abundance.
All right. Thank you very much. And with that said, we're going to sign off.